Election day is coming. Do you know who is running to be your advisory neighborhood commissioner? My name is Janelle Alexander from DC North Star, and we interviewed several candidates, and they're going to tell you a little bit about what their platforms are. Take a look.
Hi, I'm Geoff. I'm running for ANC 4B07 Commissioner.
What is the most important issue facing your single-member district, and how do you intend to address it?
That's a great question. I don't know if it's what other people would consider to be the most important issue for our district, but what's most important to me in 4B07, and maybe it's important to just back up a little bit and say 4B07 is a relatively long, relatively narrow ANC district that spans from Cedar Avenue, where the Tacoma Metro is, and the borders run between Blair and Eastern Ave, and it runs down to New Hampshire. And so within that, we have sort of two different neighborhoods. I think on the north end, people tend to think that they live in Tacoma. In the south end, they live in Lamond. And they're two great neighborhoods, but I do think the people within them feel like I mean, if you just bump into them and you say, where do you live? They wouldn't say 4B07. and if, depending on where you are, I think you would say you're one or the other. And for me, the most important thing is making sure that those are connected and talking to one another, and anything I can do to get those people to know one another better. We're in a time nationally where politics are sort of gross. And you know, one of the reasons for me running is because I don't know what else to do other than to reach out and get to know my neighbor a little bit better, and start building those bridges on the most local level. So one of my missions will be to try to reach out and get to know everyone in the district, and do my best to keep them all informed and to represent all of them.
Great. What are your thoughts on the pace of the city's development? You can answer this in regards to water redevelopment or the city's comprehensive plan.
Yeah. Well, the one thing that's a definite fact is the city is developing. There's building happening. Where I live on Aspen Street, there are a couple of developments that have occurred in the last few years, new buildings. There's another one that's proposed on Vine Street. There's a building just up Willow Street from where I live, a half block away, that's I think it's a house that's going to be torn down and made into 8 condo units. I live across the street from a parking lot that's owned by a development company, and so it's sort of like, how long is it going to be? You know, we can take bets whether it's 1 year, 10, but at some point it's going to turn over, and that's really important, because when these things turn over, it's like that's our one opportunity to have a say on what it looks like and what is contained there. And so, you know, there are certain things that ANC can do and certain things the ANC can't do. But it is our one shot to have an opinion, and so I think that's really critical. And I think, you know, people that aren't right next to it might not care as much, but everyone should have an opportunity to say, okay, we may not be able to stop this, but we want it to look like this. We want to make sure that it has affordable housing options. We want to make sure it fits with the style of our community. And so that's important to me. That's critical.
Great. So this commission struggles to work together at times. How will you work with the residents and other commissioners when there's a contentious issue?
Yeah, it's my understanding that it has been contentious. The 4B ANC 4B hasn't gotten along real well. I think that's one of the ways where having a fresh face, someone who's not familiar with all the history is a positive thing, that I can look at that with fresh eyes and just have a new approach. And I don't have a lot of, history with the other commissioners. I think people would find me to be a very good listener, and that is how I start off interacting with people is, tell me, what do you think? And giving them the opportunity to let you know, and that's what the ANC is for. I've been very clear, or I try to always be very clear in my literature, and in my campaign. Whenever I interact with someone, they always say, what's your platform? I don't have a platform. I'm not sure that an ANC commissioner is really supposed to have a platform. It's just, you're supposed to be accessible. And you're supposed to represent your folks see what they have to say, and then funnel that up.
Awesome. How do you plan to keep residents informed about issues?
It's a great question, and that's something that I'm not sure that I have the one answer to right now. One obvious thing is the listservs and technology like Nextdoor, so you can always be posting to your community there. I'm starting to build a more robust mail list of neighbors, and I hope to continue building that. If I win, I'll have to give this more thought, because I know that there are some people that don't go to my website to look for updates, who don't go to my Facebook page to look for updates, who won't maybe check the listservs, or at least not on a regular basis to find that. And I know the incumbent in my district has block captains who distribute flyers, and that works well when you have a block captain on a block. This is a problem that I'm still working through, and I will need to figure it out if I win. But I know there are some people that aren't going to hit the listservs, and I need to have a strategy for how to make sure that they're informed and connected. And I intend to do that.
Great. Why are you the best person for the job? Why should your neighbors vote for you?
Well, thanks for the question. I don't know am I the best person for the job? I don't know. But I think that if people get to know me, they will find that, as an ANC commissioner, I want everyone to know, whether you vote for me or not. I don't care if you vote for me, but I want you to know who I am, how to get a hold of me, and know that I'm an accessible person. To know that I'm someone who cares about all of the residents in my district, that I will take the time, and that I'm dedicated. I think I can be a good advocate for our community, and I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't want to represent everyone, and if I didn't think I could be an effective advocate. So, I'm trying to reach all of our residents in the next 2 weeks, and I have been longer than that. But I'm going to try to reach everyone else who I haven't talked to yet and let them know, and that's the kind of person that I am and the type of commissioner I would be.
Great. Well, thank you very much.
Hey, thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, this is great.